Guard in an effort to reduce crime?
Yeah.
So I think once again,
In that example of the governor in Seattle.
Seattle? Well, I honestly, I don't remember. Well, no, I never said that.
Well, that's what
are you talking about DC or are we talking about Seattle? Sorry, Brad asked me, is it a good idea for?
I guess I think he's qualified to do that.
Right, again, but it's not so much, again, what I said earlier. It's not the calling it, it's the reason behind that call. It's the reason, again, I understand January 6th.
Why they're going there and what they're actually going to do are two different things. So that's why I think they disagree.
Well, I don't think it's an interpretation. I think Trump flat out said the crime rates are way up, albeit some data says yes, some data says no, but I don't think there's anything room for interpretation. Am I missing that?
Moose, have you ever been to Washington, D.C.?
I have, yeah. My brother went to college there. I went there, been there many times.
Okay, so you understand that the downtowns and shit like that, I don't know, maybe you don't know. But anyway.
I mean, I've only visited there. I don't have a lived experience there, so.
The place where most of the federal property and shit like that, weekends and shit, like it's intertwined with the late night goings. You know what I mean? So, like I said, there's a lot of people out roaming the streets doing certain things on those type of nights. Those people, the National Guard is going to be there protecting property. But they don't even have the equipment to be riding around. Do you think it would be in Humvees? DC Street's not even big enough for Humvees to be patrolling every neighborhood. Let's just talk about that.
Yeah, I agree they should protect property.
So like I said,
they should protect property, sure.
Okay. So like I said, bro, I forgot. I was gonna say something else that you said.
You stated Moose's concerns were not founded. So you're, and with Moose, when was the last time you visited Washington, D.C.?
That's what I was trying to say. Like, anyone who's out there, but being a tourist and living there are galaxies apart.
Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to tell you.
But to apparently augment police, and again, National Guard are not authorized to detain, arrest, interrogate. They're there for a military presence. Do you think that in general is a good idea for the president to do in National Guard where there is, wherever in this country there is high crime versus perhaps reaching out to that governor?
Definitely reach out to the governor of that state. But since Washington, D.C. does not have a governor and it's not a state, do what you got to do.
An individual and they're beating her up, please detain them. They just don't have the powers to throw them in jail. They'll detain them until police officers come back and to go further and conclude the arrest. And they'll do that. But yes, the National Guard can be enumerated. California has done it. Every state has pretty much done that with their National Guard at some point in their history. And the National Guard.
Okay, I was wrong. Hold on. I was wrong.
DC is deployed every year or every time there's an election. It has been deployed so many fucking times. It's still on active deployment in there. They're rotating people out. Still in DC. Through the war of terror since 9/11 for 20 years, we had National Guard deployed all of their protecting areas. We've had, Biden brought in 25,000 troops and gave them powers for 3 months there. So, we've had multiple times throughout the bonus pay rebellion. And here's another thing. The National Guard can also be deployed to protect protests. The most famous one being I Have a Dream speech by Martin Luther King with 250,000. The National Guard weren't there to just make sure nothing got out of hand, which they were. But they were also there to protect the protesters from any kind of violence that would have been conducted upon them. So they do a it's actually really weird how they'll operate and what orders they did during George Floyd. They were there to protect property. They were there to protect even some of the protests that go on if they're large scale. Think the Million Man March. Again, National Guard was deployed to actually ensure that did not get out of hand because they're an asset that help route and control crowds.
Yeah, but see, these people that live in these little towns and little small areas that come on Clubhouse, a lot of people don't even know about Million Man March. I'll pay somebody that can tell me who the fuck started that without Googling.
arrest him. So I'll ask you directly, Brad. Same question I asked Track. Forget DC. Is this a reasonable or warranted response for the president to set this as a precedent and whim? If there's like some crime.
It's the only city where
Sorry, Track.
But you're not being honest. You're asking an honest question. You just talk.
No, I am. Let me know when you're done. So, exactly, LA. He had no jurisdiction in LA until the governor pushed back. So, but I'm saying, if for whatever reason they give the president this power, hypothetically, and moving forward to be able to do this, is this a reasonable response to essentially say, sorry, law enforcement, you're not cutting the mustard. Sorry, we're going to, you're going to create shit morale, and because I'm going to make a political move and a political stance to perhaps distract away from other stuff that's going on that doesn't put me in a great light. So he did deploy them in LA. The governor pushed back. He apparently won that, but I just think this is a dangerous precedent. This is a dangerous precedent.
Hold on a second. Yes, it was you, Brad, and I'm going to let you respond to Moose right after me. One thing I wanted to say, Moose, is that, I don't really think you can compare the deployment to LA to what he's doing in DC right now. What he is doing in DC right now it's not an overreach or he is authorized to do what he's doing in DC right now because it's not a state. What he did just willy-nilly order and by virtue of what he's doing in DC, he's still not going to be able to willy-nilly order National Guard to go in because of police departments. I think that's a bit of a stretch to think that.
I also think there's a Project 2025 element too as it relates to DC.
What element is that? Brad.
Codes are failed. So, for instance, Seattle, he could have deployed. I agree. Trump could have deployed him in Seattle during the Summer of Love when you had inability of the mayor, the governor, and other police chiefs to remove the city of Chop and go. You can't have that go on in the city. We've had this. There's precedent for that. They've done it multiple times. The U.S. has done it. Multiple presidents throughout history. Now you have this action. Trump can deploy them again. We deploy them all the time in DC. They're always on a rotation. They're getting deployed there. This is probably no different. If you're going to deploy him to a city, he's going to face an uphill battle because generally they fall under the governor, but conditions need to be met. Usually that's a failure to maintain laws and orders to protect property, to protect the civilian population. If the police are ineffective in that area, regardless of how their experience is, the president then has the power to deploy the National Guard. So does the governor of that state to back up and help assist to return order to that city or location.
And I was just going to add, I think DC is unique unto itself because I believe in Project 2025, it hasn't been implemented yet, but I believe part of the Project 2025 plan is to provide the Secret Service with law enforcement powers for the District of Columbia.
Why do you keep referring to Project 2025? I mean, if I go to Grok right now and I act... Oh, no! Project 2025... Oh, no! Project 2025 has a good idea. Oy vey!
Hey, why don't you eat...
5 has a good idea. Oy vey!
Hey, why don't you eat another fucking cheeseburger?
Sorry, can we play a new drinking game? Every time 2025 said everybody's got to take a shot. I'll participate once. Every time 2025 said everybody's got to take a shot. I'll participate once I get out of the truck.
Project 2025. Project 2025. Project 2025.
Okay, only if we are drinking.
2025.
Okay, only if we are drinking water shots because I need to drink more. So that is a very good incentive. Ready, go.
It's the end of the world. They're implementing good ideas from something called Project 2025.
I thought that drinking water bottles is a really good idea. Yes, thank you.
So what else in Project 2025 do you not want to happen, Howard, since you've read this Bible called the Project 2025?
I don't want the peace order they called for. That's just not realistic.
Go ahead, Howard.
There was some reporting that it's only for 30 days. It may or may not be, but I'm just highlighting that one initiative that hasn't yet been implemented provides Secret Service law enforcement responsibilities specifically for the District of Columbia.
It's probably a foreign concept to y'all because y'all have still.
Actually, I used to live in D.C., so thank you.
Cool. It's still probably foreign to your ass. You probably lived uptown and didn't even really go outside. But anyway,
Trap, are you the only one here who can speak on DC? Is that what's happening?
Yeah. If you feel like if that hits your heart like that, then it is what it is. If that's how you feel, but until somebody can give me some better knowledge to nerd shit that's coming out your mouth, then challenge me, come harder than that motherfucker.
You fell for the trap, Moose. He got your ass.
Yeah, egg on my face.
Well, listen, I appreciate Trump coming up to the stage to offer his perspective, especially for those who don't live in the area. And we're trying to figure out if the National Guard is actually necessary. Is the crime as bad as this administration claims it is? While the media claims it's not as bad because the crime rates have dropped since last year. So, Trap, I appreciate you coming up to share your perspective as someone who's actually in the area.
If I'm not mistaken, Trump, did you say you moved out of D.C. because of the crime problem, or do you still reside within the urban areas of D.C.?
I live in Virginia Beach. I'm 2 hours away. All of my family lives in D.C. Yeah. What?
How long ago did you move away?
Brother, I'm a man that chose to do better. Like I said, I didn't stay in the city.
No, kudos to you.
I went to college. And
He's lived there.
like what? My mother's there, my grandmother, my sister, my father, my brothers. Like, what are we talking about? Huh? I'm going to be buried there? Like, what are we talking about?
Do all your family agree that the National Guard is the good answer right now?
No, hell no. I got family that's stuck in the Matrix. Like I said, I chose to get the fuck out of it. I definitely have family that's stuck in the Matrix, but I'm not that. So, like I said, I live in Virginia where I got good gun laws.
Moose, you never served in the military, right? You don't understand the beautiful simplicity of following an order.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
DC. What do you think they're really going to do?
I don't know. That's why I was asking. I would imagine they would secure property first, maybe reach out to the chief of police. And that's why I'm really trying to wrap my brain around it. Like, how would they actually assess the problem? That's a great question. How would they actually assess the problem, boots on the ground, and get those gangsters?
Well, I don't know if you've observed the police recently, Moose, but let me pretty much tell you what the police do. They sit in their car and they look at their cell phone. Am I wrong? What?
So, Moose, the National Guard is not going to be doing interdiction or interceding policies. They're not going to be targeting gang members and going and kicking in doors to, at least at this juncture. Now, if that does happen, that'll be eye-opening. But they're currently, that's not the crux of their role. That's not even in their, what's outlined by even Trump on the podium today. What's that outline is that they're going to be there as a force on the corner so that people can walk the street. They're going to protect national or federal properties. They're going to coordinate with police and other entities to do crowd control, to do, again, normal roles that they currently are ongoing and doing. And then they're going to be assisting police because, again, even in 2023 and in 2024, Mario Bowser was asking for assistance and asking the council for more police because they had a decrease in it. And their Safer, Stronger Together Act on the city council that really just basically put a target on police backs and took a pussyfooting approach, which led to record high murder rates in 2024, 2023. That's huge. And you can kind of say, hey, you know what? Maybe this approach is not working, especially when we have all the power brokers located in one place. And it's not just for gangs. Like you wanna make sure that there is nothing bad going to be on? We don't want a bomb at the Capitol building, do you? I mean, you don't want it at I don't know, at any of the other federal buildings. I don't want to see the Washington Monument blow up. And apparently we have more and more violent protests going on these days.
Cool. Okay, appreciate the answer. So there you go, Anonymous or John, whoever you're identifying. So what happens, Brad, what happens when the National Guard leave and then the citizens are subjected again to apparently their insufficient, inadequate law enforcement?
Well, hopefully that the Capitol Police can protect the federal grounds and find the perpetrators, and then the DC Police can actually go after the crimes. They don't have to be busy directing traffic. They don't have to sit there and just be sitting in a patrol car, as somebody said earlier. They're going to be there on the ground as a deterrent, and that should be. It should help at least alleviate some, and actually provide a sense of relief for some of the citizens that have been, for instance, a woman getting attacked on her way just walking down the road. Like, these stories aren't uncommon. Or the two teenagers that killed the person just for being out because they thought it was a fun night to date. That's what they get their kicks on. So hopefully this will be a mitigating factor, and they'll have a quicker response time. They'll be able to coordinate, and these guys won't be able to go away. And then it's up to the council to maintain some kind of semblance or order that literally starts protecting the citizens rather than the virtue signaling. It's clearly evident that 2021, 2022, that the city council's virtue signal policy, we can figure out a better way to police a population than what the current police are doing, led to mass quits of police and increased crime. Correct?
Yeah, I mean, we also need, I think, even of that, again, are the DAs, the judges, the local legislators. Believe it or not, I'm actually on the left and still think that there should be tougher laws against underage, especially for homicide, especially for any violent crime. I'm not talking about smashing and I'm talking about sexual assault and homicide. They should be tried, I think, as adults in most of those scenarios.
You won't get it for me. I'm on your side with that one.
Yeah, so none of that shit you said you agree with flies in a liberal city like DC. The dude who was speaking kind of has it correct. This is just a federal fucking takeover because the city council, the mayor, that motherfucker who wear them glasses at that police press conference, that spokesman, they come to that podium every time there's some bullshit going on. They don't really give a fuck about the city, they just care about the money that they making. It's a federal takeover, all that shit. Something's gotta be done. It's a different type of white folk that live there. They wanna be able to spend their fucking money and go outside. And so, you're not gonna be able to have the bullshit no more. That's all that's happening. It's all that's happening. You're not gonna act like the city ain't been gentrified. Oh shit, that's crazy. So fucking, what kind of sneak that is?
So how would people rate this topic in terms of priorities if you were president and this is what you were doing for your people? Is this a top 10 priority for you?
Sounds like a poll. I'm on it.
Trap, if you were president, what would your top 3 priorities be for the American people?
I'm a Christian. You know, I know my principles are.
I'm sorry, what would be the top 3 priorities for you as President of the United States, Mr. Trap? And what is the Trinity, Mr. Trap? Ask the question, Mr. Trap. What is... Oh! He left. Hey, Kima, did you enjoy reading the Tao Te Ching today? I felt like that was a good group bonding moment.
Yeah, I think so. I'm about to pick the book up.
Any other moderators or readers today enjoy that Tao Te Ching moment? Was that the highlight of your Clown House debate day?
I think it's fun to do group things.
Define group things.
Reading a book together.
Not those group things.
Of saying the actual talk and hopefully education some people got on Washington D.C. and just how it's different from everywhere else. But most of all, I think that should be, maybe it's not going to be the example for safety, but if it's the head of our nation, everything trickles down, and if there's chaos there, it's going to trickle down everywhere else just as fast.
Oh, and I wanted to respond to somebody who said that DC's a maze or a mess. I think it was Victoria, also known as Dementia or whatever her name is. Whatever. DC, if you actually look at it on a map, the Capitol building is literally in the center of DC. Everything else is in a northwest corner, northeast corner, southwest corner, and it's ran in a grid fashion. It's actually a very particular design. You don't really need a whole-scale map to navigate DC, but it is done by design, and it has had moderations done, and the system actually works quite well, especially in evacuations. We were once invaded by the fucking Canadians that we should have killed, and then we should take care to just learn your city. Like, these quadrants exist, and how to navigate those quadrants is very simple. You can just see it on a basic map. Pull it up on Google if you don't believe me. But the National Guard will have no problem navigating DC. It's really very basic.
Well, Brad, what if I'm a total square? I can't handle anything that isn't square.
Lord help you then.
Keep the day job, Brian.
I drive in circles all day. I love Washington D.C.'s layout.
Isn't DC all, like this roundabout after roundabout?
Essentially it is, yeah, but it's way easier to fortify different areas the way it's set up.
Yeah, like, it's really simple. Like, numbered streets run north and south. Lettered streets run east and west. That's how you can tell which road you're on and how to intersect. It's really, I don't know how to.
This room was full of chatty Cathy's, and now you're all sitting here.
How is the poll? I love that Serendipity picked the same one I did. I would round out the top 5 with, foreign affairs. I don't like the forever wars.
The P-O-L-L. The P-O-L-L.
Oh.
Can you imagine
I was
anyone?
just asking if I heard her correctly. You guys, your minds are in the gutter. I don't need to talk to her.
It's Kristen! Kristen's
Polish my halo. Hold on.
Hey, Roger, go ahead and put a poll for how many women here have taken a pole dancing class but make it anonymous. Oh, wait. Clubhouse doesn't allow you to do that.
I'm just saying, I think there are more ladies than Dismal on the app. I agree. I might not be one of them, but I agree.
Does anyone think it's a lie to say that the economy is the number one reason why society, has so much crime and poverty and homelessness? Is it the economy or is it something else?
It's something else. Not enough women are taking pole dancing classes. Duh.
I have a question. If we let economics, which is the number one issue that we should care about, get so out of control that we have $37 trillion worth of national debt and $100 trillion of unfunded liabilities, if now the situation is so bad we just don't even do anything about it, what's to stop us from feeling the same way about all of the other issues, such as crime?
Well, what I'm thinking is if you find yourself high on fentanyl on a street in Philadelphia, can you somehow reverse engineer $37 trillion in debt? I mean, should you have another $35,000 in your pocket, and not be in the street high on fentanyl? Like, is it just one system? Is the system one and they are a victim of this system? Is that the right approach to reverse engineer your position if you're a fentanyl addict on the street in Philadelphia?
Opinions, there have been so many understandings. There's been a lot revealed. I don't know a lot about cops and military and...
Could you just stop your sentence that I don't know a lot of stuff?
Yeah. But would you like me to continue?
Please do.
Okay.
Ladies' man.
Thank you, honey. I'm so glad. Even though I'm your second favorite.
Third.
Second and a half. So, it's really interesting the people's perspectives because I really am. I'm very sheltered. My dad was in the military and he did Vietnam, so he was a career person. But I'm really not very. I don't have a lot to do with armed forces. I have a great respect for them, and it's really great to get insight from people who are in the environment. The multiple kinds of opinions that are shared. It takes a lot of courage for people to share their experiences and to be heard. So I appreciate that, and I've learned a lot today.
During the discussion, residents did not hold back, voicing their frustrations.
He can have his poll
Many
tonight,
questioning why kids aren't being held accountable.
We as a city and a community need to be much more focused on prevention and surrounding young people and
I had the mother today, Roger, because you decided to go have a life and do
their
things.
families.
Yeah.
You did a great job.
It happens every now and again. I was out looking at beautiful flowers that I could send to my favorite clubhouse crush.
I was afraid of Brad.
I was scared of Brad.
What, did Brad do the yelling thing? I hate when he misses.
Yeah. He tried to do the yelling. Well, he did do the yelling thing, Victoria, and I cut him off mid-street and said, "Okay, Brad, finish your thought." And he said, "I'm trying to." I was like, the other way.
There's some people that crash out and you're like, oh man, this fucking guy sucks. And then when Brad crashes out, it's like fun. He's like the positive crasher outer. I remember back when Goat's pseudo-intellectual ass trying to fucking make a point, and Brad would just fucking rip his head off verbally. It was amazing.
Christy asked a question in chat. She said, how do you define a leftist?
You know, they sit in opposition to the king. That's why they sat on the left physically. The people that wanted to uphold tradition, this is in France, by the way, so I don't know why we have to use their terms, but if you sat on the right of the king, you were really saying, hey, we're going to defend the king, and we're going to essentially defend tradition, and that's then gets into these ideas of like, okay, well, conservatives, they want to uphold tradition, so I guess right and conservative can have some sort of, they're adjacent, I suppose. And then, but left of center, when you're fighting for change, you can do that in an authoritarian way. That would be the progressives, right? Or you can do it in a liberal way, at least in the classical sense. Classical liberals, they supported things like capitalism and individual rights, but they had a strong sense of like, justice specifically around like equal protection under the law. So a lot of the really good things that we have are because of radical liberals. The Constitution was written by radical liberals, but then later, conservatives were, hey, that's pretty bitchin', that seems to work, maybe we should protect that. And so the liberals and the conservatives, true liberals, true conservatives, they can coexist, they can get along, and they're really just deciding, like, when is their time for change, when is their time to preserve something. And so the more important thought here was how are they willing to weaponize the government? So progressives, they think very collectively. Liberals do too, but liberals don't want to weaponize the government in quite the same way. And so progressives, they literally want to trample on some people's rights in order to give other people their rights. And so it's just, it really comes down to authoritarian left versus liberal left. And then you have authoritarian right, and then you have like the libertarian right. Those are really the better distinctions. And in fact, you can throw out left and right if you want. You can it really comes down to what degree do you want individual liberty, and to what degree do you want authoritarianism. And by authoritarianism, that means all of these collective things where they have to take from one person or one group to give to another group. The only way that you get this idea of equality is if you're willing to violate people's rights. I would point people to a book by Yaron called Equal is Unfair. He explains it very well there. Necro, the rest of the world considers you a faggot.
That's not nice. That's not nice.
Which part wasn't nice?
Mojo!
To Necro agrees.
Don't worry, Necro. You're a wonderful gentleman. And you're loved.
People smoke fags, they fight over fags, and I just gotta say, people smoke fags, they fight over fags, and I just gotta say, the F word, the K appropriate, or they say, very vulgar and obscene things. Maybe it's a you problem for being here, to listen to.
Decent human, we're adults. This isn't a kids app. What the?
Do you know what the term faggot means? Yeah, bird sticks. I was asking Bima.
No, so you said
it was a good question. Classical liberal, and everyone else believes that he's a faggot. And what do you think that word means in that context?
I don't think it means anything nice. Did you have good intentions? I don't think it means anything nice. Did you have good intentions? Or was that nice? Oh.
Yes, absolutely. It's a term of endearment, and that's what I mean by it. So I don't know what your definition of faggot is, but it has nothing to do with sexuality. If that's what you were going to say.
That Bima quit the app, or that was fake news.
I did not. We were told that she quit the app. Somebody. I think it was Daniel that told us that. I think Daniel, someone that shared that she had deactivated her account. I think Daniel.
That's true. That's true.
You did deactivate. Now you've reactivated.
Yeah, I have to try to start doing it more, but the app only will let you do it like once a week, I think. So I'm gonna try to just do it once a week. You know, I have to cut down.
That should be the same frequency that you wax your armpits.
Imagine if people had that same personal responsibility while they're robbing people in the streets or breaking into restaurants when they're closed at night and stealing the cash. Imagine if they took that type of personal responsibility, Bima.
Imagine if you made sense.
Can I just point out the people that felt like they needed to rescue Necro, people in the chat, people on the stage? Do you guys not realize that Necro and I are friends? You guys not understand that? Necro, can you tell them about our friendship?
Are you more than friends?
You would never checked on that, Roger. Let me ask Necro. Necro, has Roger ever talked to you about like your friendship and made sure that you weren't ever offended by any potentially offensive things that he would say as terms of endearment? Has he ever checked in with you with that? Or did he just assume?
I mean, he knows I'm not offended by most, by insults pretty much. I mean, they're just words.
That wasn't my question. My question was...
Why are you more offended on his behalf than he is? This is weird.
That's not... I'm not offended upon his behalf.
This is what white progressives do. This is what white progressives do when they have a grievance and they want to get offended on behalf of someone else. Necro and I share stages. We agree on some things. We disagree on some things. We can have playful banter. He just said that he wanted to steal my woman, for fuck's sake. That's meaner than anything that I've said to him.
Can I ask a question here? America is in a danger point here, and I'm just wondering, is there any patriots in the room? Let's say the CIA wanted to give you a direct commission to deploy to a sanctuary city to fight violent crime. Who in this room would have the physical ability, the desire to join that paramilitary operation? Anyone here?
Well, I'm hold on. Welcome, Jason Dusek.
I'm ready.
Basically, you're the man for the job, right?
Jason takes the place of 10 men. And I just think it's funny that when some people don't get the answer back in the exact words they want, they pretend like the question wasn't answered. I find that funny.
You know what I find funny in an annoyingly ironic way? Roger, if you could please reach out to the founders, who is it, Paul, Rula, whatever. If they're going to allow you to name a house in the muff, is there a reason why they're not allowing me to type the word MUFF in chat? As you can see, I can alter.
So if you look at the house title in the muff, you will see that they're not separate words. If you try to type in the muff in the chat, you can do it if you do it the way that I've spelled it. I also have clever workarounds where I can put an accent over certain letters and get away with all kinds of tomfoolery.
You muffed it, you pussy.
You gotta be smarter than the algorithm, is what Mojo just said. Take the red pill.
It's a legitimate question. Who here would go on a 6-month deployment to perform security in a major U.S. city for $10,000 a month for, say, 6 months? Anybody want to go on a short-term activation?
That's actually cheaper than I would have gotten paid back in the day, but it wouldn't take me 6 months to pacify a city, and I only need 2 other people with me to go ahead and do that. You do need to know that realistically.
I mean, you can go be a journeyman tradesman somewhere and make triple that, so.
No, I just have to target, once I'm on the ground, all I have to do is just target the main leaders, then I just have to break in at the twilight hours, snatch and grab them, waterboard them for a little bit, and then figure out who's their next in command. Just take those out and keep those guys alive while they're still feeding me information.
I think I'm going from that room. Imagine that.
Which room and house was it?
The Critical Thinking Forum. That's Gary Baumgartner's room. He's like the Walter Cronkite of the
I wanted to go in there and do a simulcast. Actually, I wanted to do your room and his room at the same time, but unfortunately, I couldn't get it to work. and I thus unveiled my anonymous account. So this has been my anonymous account that I've been recording rooms on for about 60 days hardcore with.
I just think it's interesting that those rooms, they want to tone police certain people, they don't allow the chat, and then they'll allow somebody like Monsef to just go on for 15 minutes at a time. The room's only open.
That's a problem. I agree on both sides. He allows people to go on and on and on and on, but sorry, I gotta push back. I mean, yes, he takes the chat away, but how does he tell the police? I mean, people can argue that you tell police by not allowing certain words to be said or threatening. So how is he telling policing and you're not?
Well, I will say this. Why don't you ask that question to Anson Burlingame?
I mean, he has a personal history, so Anson's a bit biased towards Gary at this point, so
let me ask you this. Of those two guys, if they were in a bar, or let's say a Moose Lodge, right? If they were having a couple beers and they stepped
I see what you did there.
If they were to step outside after a couple of beers, who do you have your money on?
Oh, are you kidding? I mean, Anson's an older gentleman. Gary's a spring chicken. I'm guessing they have 10 years difference, maybe. My money's still on Anson.
Yeah. Dude, Anson swims with dolphins, dude. Like, Anson's a legend. I like Anson. It's amazing. But I have to say this. I don't have a problem with Gary other than, like, some of his judgment. Like, remember when Merrill was one of his co-hosts?
I remember old school season 1 or 2 that I was, and I don't know if I'm not going to speak about other people that are in here, but I personally don't have a problem with her, but apparently she received mixed reviews, so I don't know why she didn't mod anymore with Gary.
Well, she had Trump derangement syndrome, hardcore, and I think it infected a lot of people and rotted the brains of a lot of people in that room. I thought Howard was a really good mod in that room.
And I disagreed if Howard was good.
Yeah,
Marshall was good.
Well, Marshall's good when he, isn't drinking. I like Marshall a lot, but Trump
was asleep.
Wow. But the worst part of that room, it's not the chat. It's not the fact that you can't push back on ideas. You know what the worst part of it is?
Do tell.
Scott Jones doing a Trump impersonation.
There it is. I knew that was nothing. LOL. He did it just do it in your room before?
Oh yeah, I encouraged him to do it. He did it like he was winning. It was hilarious.
Nails on the chalkboard.
Do you know who does a better Trump impression? Darth Arianos. No. I mean, it's possible to tell the difference. Darth Arianos, incredible, insane. Darth Arianos would also hand you your ass, Roger. Hand it to you. In pretty much absolutely any topic, anything, he would just destroy you. He'd destroy anyone on that stage. Darth, the ambition. I mean, I'm interested.
Yeah, I'd like to see him being on agriculture, but there's not many people that are good at that.
I think what Bima just really said is that she wants to fuck this guy. That's really what I am saying.
Oh my God!
Hey, this is anonymous. Can I quickly say something about the poll and experience I had here in Chicago? I did the carry and conceal permit, and the instructor who gave that carry and conceal permit in that tiny class with 30 American patriots who, do carry and conceal in the city of Chicago and actually save their lives as they're about to get killed in many, many situations that keep coming out in the news. I just want to say that one guy who taught that 30-person class, who has probably done hundreds of classes and taught thousands of people, that is the only actual person in Chicago out of my 42 years of living who has ever done anything in terms of actually preparing the population to save lives and carry out the will and intent of our founders and the Constitution. So if only one person in my whole life I've ever seen do anything actually which is normal and rational and pragmatic, I mean, meeting a lot of people who do absolutely nothing for the city. So, I mean, government, is...
Bill Clinton necro.
Give me a minute.
Is it over yet?
That's what she said.
That's what Hillary said.
Tomorrow's rational discussion group is going to be amazing. I think it might be the biggest one ever.
Oh, what's the topic? Is there a topic? Tell us can you give us like the 411 on this? Time? Yes, they're always at 2 Pacific, 5 Eastern, but actually 10 minutes before.
It's a pure coincidence that Roger does it at the same exact time as the aforementioned room of Gary and.
It is a little passive aggressive, isn't it? Or is it just aggressive?
It's just aggressive.
This McDonald's and Burger King on opposite ends of the corner competing for cheeseburgers. Opening up competing shop raises the overall economy. I mean, did you guys ever remember that class in college where you get like an extra 10, 20, 30% margin because now there's 2 competing businesses in the area?
I concur. Healthy competition is good.
Is there a reason why they don't have the chat open, but they encourage people to go to Facebook to have chat? How can you better moderate chat on an app that you're not currently on?
Wait, that might be a good business model, like a cross. You see what I'm saying? Like a cross. Like people are gonna talk like, what the hell? What? Oh yeah, go to this app.
It'd be almost like a Discord model.
But like pulling people off of Facebook onto that. That's interesting.
What would you know about interesting people?
Absolutely nothing. Except, let me direct you to my PTR. This is a begonia, Darth Vaderiana, a terraria begonia, very rare. It is absolutely incredible. If anybody knows of where I can buy one, I'm interested. I've been looking for about 6 months.
What are you looking for? Aren't you a
I would if I knew someone who had it, and that's, I'm like, I know these plant meetups, and these are so rare that I can't find anybody that has them.
I bet you if you paid enough, you could. You go to
Yeah, no, I did. I found
like people bring plants.
Yeah, they're called plant swaps, and you just meet up with a bunch of people, and you all bring different
Explain
plants.
your PTR. God, I'm starting a little slow today.
Well, yeah, no, it's great. Everybody, I mean, like, we've edible plants, you know, like if you want, I mean, anything. Tomato plants, cucumber, anything that you could think of.
Venus and Lytrate.
I mean, sometimes those are more rare, you know, but it's mostly more common plants or edible plants. Mojo knows all about that. He was talking about edible flowers. He said he told somebody to eat flowers earlier, and I was so happy.
No, that was hold on.
That's because he's a fag.
This is true moves. That was Michael Yap, actually. I don't want to take credit for Michael Yap. Michael Yap's shtick on him.
News Talk is online. News Talk is a production.
Oh, well, I think that it's such a brilliant, amazing. I love people who say eat flowers. It assumes for me that you know about edible landscaping, and that's so amazing.
It's ironic the guy, I mean, I don't think it was flowers, it was berries, the infamous story of the Harvard grad, who, there's a whole movie about Into the Wild, where he goes on this journey to find himself, and he eats berries and dies. 22, 23, Harvard grad.
He ate the berries. Were they poisonous?
Indeed, they were.
Jeez.
This is pre-internet, so you couldn't just Google it.
Well, he had a book that he was looking at where he was trying to determine if it was good or not, and he made a mistake. He made one mistake while he was out there.
Holy shit. What was this called? Into Into the Wild?
Into the Wild, based on the book, I think. Eddie Vedder does the whole soundtrack. Sean Penn directed. It's good.
Hey, I tried to put in a chat a video of Gary Baumgarten and Brent debating on Clown House, and I gotta say, if you want an example of a difficult conversation to listen to, this would be the video of Gary and Brent arguing.
Nice that voice.
That's a good voice.
There's Roger's future ex-wife.
I don't believe in divorce.
Faithless.
Roger, the poll, you would have put economy before education?
Yeah, of course.
You know, Bima, you can go on
It's
Mojo.
always a good economy.
You can go on Mojo's profile.
The quote is accurate, right? It's the economy, stupid. I should have done that, but...
Correct. The only thing more important than the economy is love.
Amen. That's the best. Can we get a replay? Can someone cut that? That is so good.
Bima, get a hold of yourself. You're in public. You're getting rather excited over there.
Can I make it clear, without making it overly awkward to the woman of my desires, that I was not referring to Bima when I was saying these words.
So it's Monica first, Bima second, and me.
Kristen, you were in front of Bima just in case you wanted to know where you're at on it.
No, I'm not. If I'm second and a half, then there's got to be number two.
I told you were number 3. There's definitely a number 2, but there is a wide gap between 2 and 1.
Wait.
Yeah, Kristen, I think it's all the ladies, including you, and then all the men, and then Bima on Roger's list.
That's more like it.
So who's
I have to agree. Well done.
Bima, who would you put as the one who fits your policy the best out of everyone in this room?
I would have to say right now, men or women.
Just anyone.
Well, I don't know Moose, and I haven't heard much of Devin, but I like Devin. So I would have to say, and I haven't heard much of Brian either. So Brian is a curiosity to me. Moose, Devin, but I would have to say you're definitely my number 1 right now.
Me?
Oh yeah.
Well, hold on. Can I just share this? Hold on. Can I just share this with you, Bima? As much as that might have flattered him, he would still put Joe B, who's like 87, in front of you.
I'm sure he would.
God damn it, Joe B's in here. She heard that. I'm just kidding, Joe B.
Tall Lady is in the audience. Tall Lady is top 10 in my Clubhouse fake list, and that's not inconsiderable. I mean, that's considerable. That's
Scarlet Tutis. Where do I rank on that list?
Yeah, probably shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, what?
And I just happened to glance down in the audience. I didn't see. A shout out to Sean B and Weeby, 2 other minds that I really enjoy. Yeah, and Marty too. I like Marty down there too. Yeah.
Bima, let me ask you a question. If you were president of the United States or head of the Federal Reserve,
That wouldn't happen. But go ahead.
I'm just asking, how would you optimize the economy?
And the Fed.
Wow, that's not a bad answer.
That would have been Marilyn Monroe impersonation.
But can you explain to the people here, when there's no government left in the United States, where those 5,500 new
people that would be able to organize and figure that out.
That doesn't sound like you've got a very good plan here.
It's like state of society. It's to say like, hey, look, why don't we talk about who has the best ideas, and then I would not like by force, violent by force, as you see in a federal constitutional republic, which I'm not, terribly upset about. I do appreciate it for what it's done.
I got a question for you, Bima. If you don't have a government, who's going to protect black people in your society?
to single out any type of individual. It doesn't even make sense.
Give me a call back if you're.
It goes like the idea of a voluntarist society is to not use violent back coercion on people, right?
Hey, Ross, you said we need government protection, other than that, we'll be like beat up or killed or something. That's weird.
Well, it seems to me that if you're going to protect individual freedom and extend that to all individuals, you probably need a government that has the authority to make those protections. Otherwise, what would keep a band of marauders? Like, imagine like a village of Pepes that hate black people. What would you do to make sure that this village of Pepes doesn't try to trample on the rights of black people?
It's called guns and bullets.
Facts.
What if the battle was in the water?
What if the battle is in the water?
Hakima, would you like to be the one to tell her?
Well, I don't know what you mean.
When this conversation's over, I would love.
Sorry, Scarlett.
No, I interrupted you guys, so go ahead and finish this conversation. But I do have a question for Tall Lady. I'll just put it in the chat so y'all can keep going.
I was gonna tell Mojo he gotta spread his own racist jokes. He just want to say about water.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Can you repeat that? I don't know if you're cutting out. What was that, Hakima?
I think Hakima was saying that the stereotype of black people not being able to swim is incorrect.
I know for me, and the most people I know, is incorrect.
You're a swimmer?
What the hell did you say?
That's one of the kids.
When we're done with this survey, can we get a survey that asks if we think that Hakima is a strong swimmer?
Absolutely. We can take it down right now. It was just a filler poll.
I got a filler poll.
Hey, Rod, I guarantee I would out.
I'm just gonna stop talking. That's it.
Comprehension level is the lowest of the room.
How about a poll that is
What? What does the poll do?
who can vote for who would be able to save who's swimming? Can Hakima save Roger? Or can Roger save Hakima if one of them was drowning?
Who would save them? Not could they. Who would save them?
Physical capabilities.
I have saved 4 people from drowning, including like a 350-pound white dude who jumped in the middle of fucking 12 people.
It's looking good for Hakima, Roger. It's looking really good.
Hold on. This is like lefties. They hear one side of the argument and they've made up their mind. Here's the other side of the argument. When's the last time you've seen a world-class water polo team that was all black?
Well, fat people float too.
That just means we got better shit to do with our time. Like play basketball or football or some shit.
Now that is stereotypical. That's bordering on racist there, Hakima.
Why? I mean, saying what we like to do, we like to play basketball or football.
Okay, new poll up. Damn.
All bags on Hakima. Oh, so what was the reading? What did how many verses did you do, or like what did you get through to?
We got through a third of the book, and
really,
yeah, got through a third.
So can I ask a question? I'd like to ask Roger. Excuse me, Mojo. Jojo. What did you?
Is this a manic episode? Should we be concerned?
Manic Monday. So,
what's your question?
From the reading, thank you. From the reading, how many of those principles would you be able to apply to what Israel is doing currently?
Well, I think the first principle I would put is that you shouldn't try to control them. The fact that you want to control what Israel does would put you in violation of the principles of the Tao.
Fabulous deflection, but the question was what Israel is doing. So I'm a third party, or it doesn't matter what I think. What Israel is doing. How many of those, master principles could you apply to what Israel is its current policy? And we can, pretend that we're all in support of what Israel is doing right now, and there's no genocide, and they're defending themselves. Okay, so we use that baseline. How many of those principles line up with the current policy?
I would say there's very strong alignment with the good people of Israel when it comes to the Tao.
None. I'm pretty sure. I mean, you didn't get through the whole book, so I'll ask again when it's finished.
Yeah, you simply can't have your cake and eat it too.
Hold on. That is the stupidest fucking saying. Why couldn't you buy a cake, eat a cake? In fact, in what situation would you buy a cake and not eat a cake? It makes no sense to fucking that saying. That's got to be a white person saying. Akima, correct me if I'm wrong.
I am a white person. I guarantee you came from England. I'm betting on it.
Roger, you have to say the quote right. You can't eat your cake and have it too is the correct quote.
Damn it, Joe, with your reality facts.
Jesus Christ. So what you're saying is Necro got it wrong.
Most people get it wrong. They say it backwards.
Wait, how did I say it backwards?
It's the OG of misinformation.
Well, wait, what's the right way of saying it?
You can't eat your cake and have it too. It means you've eaten it, it's gone, so you can no longer have it.
And you also can't have it if you eat it.
I didn't write the quote.
I believe the idea, Negro, is that it's chronological matters. Chronological order matters.
Who told us that we were having the quote wrong?
Joe did.
Joe, you get an ad, man. You solved one of the most irritating, and I love cliches. I was always frustrated with that quote because it made no sense. And when you said it, I had to grok it, and it's beautiful. Thank you, Joe.
I'm just surprised.
My pleasure. I have a moment every moment.
I'm just surprised you hadn't run across the true way it was said before it started.
Brian, you knew it, and you were holding out on me these last 4 years.
Yeah, I just thought it was common sense. My bad.
Well, but that's because you feed us. You're a farmer. You provide, you have the common sense of being a man of the land. So I can't blame you that I was ignorant. Thank you. Then we should do a whole room on that. Cliches and quotes that don't make sense, and do origin stories to find out why.
The other good room is music lyrics that people think they are and what they actually are. Like Hold Me Closer, Tony Danza.
Yeah, I want Tony Danza. That's the best song ever.
Hurts So Good by John Mellencamp.
He doesn't really say that?
No, he does actually.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
My eyes are tortured instead of my eyes adored her.
Oh, no.
Maybe it's only me.
Something like a deuce. Keep going. I interrupted you.
Roger, I was surprised that no one really gave you a good answer for your question about if the country was decentralized, who would gain control of the nuclear weapons.
They don't have a good answer for that because they're anarchists, and anarchists are dumb.
I would say most likely the military is my answer in one form or another. I think it'd be that over, say, UN control. That's just what in a simple answer form.
Yeah, but let me ask you this, Sean. If the military kept their weapons, how are you going to overthrow the government?
It's true, but pretty much, I mean, in a lot of countries where countries are decentralized, and I'm just trying to think of...
Name one.
Egypt, possibly. At a certain point, Egypt became militarized as a country there for a while. I don't know if they still are. I don't really pay attention to Egypt. Would that be a good
military coup against Saddam in the 70s, right? 80s, late 70s.
I mean, I'm asking. I just have been thinking about that question. I think it's a good question.
I have a question.
What that would be.
I have a question for Bima. If anarchy is such a good idea, how come nobody's trying it?
I just think it's, like one of those short-sighted, trained, indoctrinated programmings, and we just continue to pass that down, right? Because we could say, why didn't anybody choose a federal constitutional republic, 1,000 years ago? Why haven't we been doing that forever? You know what I mean? I think it's just a little bit... Also, this is interesting, and I don't actually have an answer to this because it goes back and forth, but do you believe that our morality as humans, like humanity as a whole...
Did you say humans or humans?
I'm not sure. What did I say? Humanity as a whole? Do you believe that morality...
Are you saying humanity or are you saying humanity?
Humanity.
Well, those would be sheep people.
Hold on, wait a second. So do you believe morality evolves? Do you think that we've evolved with our moral, underpinnings of what we believe society, you know what I mean? Do you think that it's...
Well, we don't do any public hangings anymore, so I would say yes.
You know why we don't do public hangings anymore? The real story is because of botched hangings. It was never banned or outlawed. It was because of botched hangings that we stopped hanging people.
What about public shootings?
We still do that. It was done in Utah. And, was it North or South Carolina? Where was the other one?
It's a firing squad, but I'm not sure
it's firing squad.
Public.
Yeah.
I don't think it's public.
Well, actually,
it's not public, but it is bizarre that you can still
on the streets.
Yeah, it was the guy on death row, if I'm not mistaken, who killed that young mother 30 years ago. He actually requested a firing squad.
Can we go back to Biba's question about, does humanity evolve? I think that
morality.
Yeah, I think the civilized societies do evolve, but if you take, a pedophile death cult that's 1,000 years old, they haven't evolved much. They still want to fuck kids.
Oh, Roger, that's such terrible Islamophobia and bigotry and hatred. That's just fear speaking, Roger. That's not your true self, Roger. That's hate speech, Roger.
So this is the question. Do you believe that morality has evolved? We see... anarchist societies. Well, I'm not sure it goes deep enough into the what we know and how we know, and there have been mutualist societies, anarchist societies throughout time.
Name the one that thrived the most.
I don't know which ones thrived the most, but Kropotkin.
Wouldn't that be a good thing to examine if we're going to advocate for a society? Shouldn't we look back at history and you're going to say, hey, we should look back to these societies. Which one thrived the most? Well, I don't know about that.
Yeah, because it was just a long time ago. We're talking, hundreds and hundreds of years ago, just few, not enough documentation, you know what I mean?
So why are you convinced it would work then if you don't know anything about it?
Well, I don't think that that's a good argument to say it's not going to work.
Anarchist communities that have been fairly successful in the past 100 years, perhaps. So
Can we just get a check on David real quick? David, are you okay? Sorry, Ellen.
Yeah, I'm okay. My mic was up.
Oh.
I hope that was a crap stealer that didn't pay out full odds. That was it. We have her on film. So I wish John was there to record it.
The guy who requested firing squad was Jack Henry Abbott. The book was The Executioner. There is a book, The Executioner's Song, Letters from Jack Henry Abbott to Norman Mailer. I read the book. It was pretty good.
So I was going to say, so ones that are still sort of operational.
What are you going to say, Catalonia?
That was 1930s.
Catalonia still exists. Catalonia still exists.
Not as much, but like the most successful part was sort of between 1936, 37.
Are you familiar with Catalonia?
Yes, I just told you the years in which it was first. Yes.
Hold on, real quick.
Let me finish my thought.
Well, I will, but I want to just ask you a question. Are you familiar with their tradition of the Kagane in their nativity scene?
No.
So the Kagane is the shitter. They have a character within their nativity scene that squats and takes a shit, and it's kind of that like soft swirl shit that you get out of like a McDonald's like freezy thing if it was working. But go ahead. You were saying something far more important. Go ahead.
I'm eating chocolate right now, Roger. In Korea, there are among like certain Korean refugees. This was also in the 1920s, 30s. But in Copenhagen, there's been like a very long-running sort of self-governing commune.
How many people live there? How many people live there?
I'll have to check, but it's a small community. And they've been running since the 1970s. Not making an argument for or against it.
No, this is good. No, listen, you sound like an intelligent person. You're well-read. I'd like to think of you as a man of letters. I'm just curious, though. Would you agree with me that in a country of 350 million people with a sophisticated system of infrastructure and government intertwined in every aspect of our fucking lives and a military that has nuclear capabilities, do you think that type of society could collapse into anarchy and be okay?
But you're conflating the sort of normal definition of anarchy with anarchism, the philosophical idea. So it's for something to descend into.
That's what they mean by no anarchy. They don't want government. They don't believe in a ruler. They do believe in rules, but they don't. Well, I have a podium. What are you talking? I do have a podium. Hold on. All right, hold on. Hold on. Hold on. I'm gonna create a poll and we'll see. Let's see here. Hold on.
I thought this was a place where people talk, but anyway,
go ahead.
We joined it till
no, go right ahead. Go ahead.
Dick swinging contest.
You want the attention? It's all yours. Go ahead.
What's up?
Nah, I'm not speaking here. This idiot.
Wow, why did you even say anything then, dude?
No, but like,
why do you say that and then just be that? That's stupid. That's like what chicks do.
No, this is idiocy. If you want a small group where you talk to your friends, that's fine. If you don't want people to come up, don't invite them up.
Well, you were given the stage, but you apparently wanted to throw a hissy fit. Stupid.
It's not hissy fit. You're an idiot. This is not how people talk. Like,
I'm not an idiot. You don't even know who I am.
I know who you are. You're an idiot.
Okay, so maybe making it personal doesn't help your argument. It brings you down. Yeah, speaking of going down.
Maybe I didn't read the book as I recall.
Talking about me? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
But I'm reading a review and it says that he committed suicide.
Hold on, Devin, hold on. Can we bring? I want to bring the star of the show back up, L. Nathan. L. Nathan, come tell us all about anarchy. Get up here. We got a poll in your honor too. Get up here. Come on, L. Nathan. If that is your real name. This is what happens when you challenge an anarchist. It's fun.
You get to go and Bell in the thumb.
Shown that he's an anarchist. We don't know if he's an anarchist, first of all. And two, this just goes to freedom of association. If you want to have civil dialogue, he set his boundaries. I respect him. I'm sorry, Elman. I would have liked to have heard you.
I would like to have heard him. I actually said I would like to hear him. I invited him up. He's refusing because he's afraid.
Yeah, Nathan, you're never likely to be anybody's professor.
I don't think he's afraid. He didn't sound afraid.
He said you wouldn't even qualify to sit in my class. Listen, I wouldn't pay money to go and get a fucking education to be taught by fucking morons like yourself. What are you gonna do? You're gonna tell me about these thriving anarchist communities? It's fucking amazing. Like, Jesus Christ, you guys hear yourselves?
Do you understand that that's like an appeal to, what is it? Is it an appeal to history, right? Like, you're saying that it's literally a logical fallacy, saying just because something hasn't been done in the past means that
Do you think appealing to reason is a bad idea?
To appeal to reason, well, I mean, not for the sake of just saying something is reason, but if there's a reason, there's actually reason in the reasoning, then sure. Bro.
Jesus Christ.
Listen, I'm not gonna lie.
I hope this is streaming. I want to.
You heard that, right?
This should be
I'm dying.
Please mute yourself. This should absolutely be a fucking PSA of why young people should not use drugs. I just don't get it.
I do not use any drugs. I'm a teetotaler.
Maybe
I'm a
that's
teetotaler, and actually I haven't told that. But I do love begonias, specifically the Darth Vaderiana. If anyone knows where I could buy.
Is it edible? Is it an edible begonia?
No, but there are edible begonias. They're beautiful little pink ones. There's like the double pink Francises. They have a very sweet. You can put it on, salads and things. It's very nice.
It's like my saying.
If you use the presentation,
you shouldn't do drugs, or else you might have to become president of the United States.
Hey, hold on, guys.
Mojo, breaking news. Elton John blames the democratization of microphones. Idiots like this who are nothing in real life enjoy this. But yet he takes the time to stay here and somehow feel gratified that he's putting this professor has sunk to our level, apparently, with his hubris and his ego, but yet he takes the time to put that message in. The irony is hard to ignore.
Listen, they're all here for the dopamine hit. I'm here for it. You're here for it. We all collect it in different ways. I think the issue is that Bima collects her dopamine. She overindulges. This is why you get ideas like anarchy. Bima, let's ask you a couple questions. So the collapse of the U.S. happens, and I know you don't want to talk about the idea of who gets the nukes. Can you explain to me, who would set age of consent laws if there was no government?
So the point is it's decentralized. So you all would. Everybody here would.
But wait a minute. But what if there was a compound of people that decided that they wanted to throw all age of consent laws out the window? Where would the authority be to say, hey, that's a bad idea?
Well, you had talked about appealing to reason, and I think that that's a good, I actually, if you want to use the appeal to reason, okay, we've gotten to the point where we have a great structure. We understand the psychological damage that, the different, the Erik Erikson model of, psychology, the children's psychology and how they grow and how their brains develop. So obviously there's limits, and we can use, great with our science eyes and objectivity to incorporate. And so there are going to be better ideas. There's going to be lesser known ideas, or
take a breath. Take a breath. No, take a breath.
Better and lesser.
Take a breath. I'm trying to help you. Take a breath.
You got to break a record. Don't let her go. I just want her to breathe. Do I sound like I'm not breathing? Correct.
Yeah. You sound like you're so hungry.
Oh my God! Wait, I sound hungry?
Did you take any nitrous?
Wait, hold on. Why do you keep saying that, Moose? That is like such a it's a weird thing. Like, can we talk about how you know about this nitrous stuff? Where do you get it? How would I do it if I had it?
It is no.
Okay. What if so this is the part about age of consent where you need a government is because some people aren't old enough to even consent. And so how do you have mutual consent if you're not legally able to give me? It's like, things that we don't even have figured out right now. And all that voluntarism is saying is that we're decentralizing the power to say if age of consent, if there's a community where they have children that are, 10 years old and they're able to take full accountability of their successes and failures, they're fully self-sustainable, raising in their own themselves and are able to fulfill contracts, right? Who's to say that they shouldn't be able to be a part of the moral calculus, right? That's all that is. But I think for the most part, we already have a lot of great structure that we can agree to, and that we would say using reason, that's a reasonable thing to do. Can you pause right there? And I'm not even going to interject. I'll let you continue, take your deep breath, all that. So I just want to ask the people that were listening to that, was there anything within that resembled a point that you pulled out of it? I'd love to hear from the people in the chat if that made sense to anybody. And then we'll give it about 30 seconds, and then Bima, you can go ahead and talk more about how age of consent laws are just going to be, decided based on mutual respect with no authority. Amazing. Go ahead, Bima. I actually liked your exercise. I wanted to hear from the crowd.
Bima, can I ask you a question? Can you just re-summarize what you said maybe in like 3 sentences? Thanks, Bima.
Yes. I'm just like, yo, dude, wait, hold on. No, we just need a moment, dude. We just need a moment to stop. Just like, because I had something and it slipped away, and I feel like we should just. Yeah, you guys got to drink that one in. That was a good question. Yeah. Okay, Bima, you didn't like the question, so let me give you a different one. Okay, so if you have no government, and let's say you have these different territories, you have your little compound, I've got mine, how would an interstate highway get built cooperatively? Oh, what the fuck? Is there a demand? Do you think that there would be demand for something like that? No, there very well could be a demand, but I'm guessing who would organize it and who would gather the resources, and what happens when decentralize the power structure. So when there's better ideas that pop up, we can voluntarily associate and put our if you think they are, that's interesting because there's still people that vote. And so that would kind of dissolve your argument that, there's a system of control by the people that you think are irrational. So do you think that the average American is irrational? Do you think that the average American is irrational? Just out of curiosity. Yes. If most people are irrational, and then you believe that we should, or the authority in the United States is derived by that group of irrational people, what are we really talking about? I don't know, I think we just solved the puzzle right now. That irrational people are voting. Of course, the government's going to be trash. So. Well, people in California are not rational, so there you go.
Wait, which government?
On fire right now, apparently.
The government now, the government then, which government exactly? Pockets.
Well, hold on. Before Pockets goes, I want to ask Bima to take a look at the question of the room. What would be preferable to the U.S. government? Reducing government, eliminating government, or more authoritarianism? What's your option?
As always, eliminating government. Always. That's always the start.
All right, perfect. Let me see if you can get a co-signer. So she has nominated eliminating government. Does anyone want to co-sign with her on eliminating government? We've got nobody to second her motion. Nobody seconds her motion.
And so who said that?
We got one.
Perfect. All right, hold on. Now I want to. I want to find out who. Hold on. Let's see. I want to see. So the Greens, we've got Nye, we got Serenity, we got Shirley, we got David, we got Necro, we got Sean B, we got Devin, we got Father. Those are the Greens that are on the stage. I need 2 volunteers that believe reducing government is a better idea. Can you blink your mic if you believe reducing government is a better idea and you want to volunteer to have this discussion? It'll be a tag team match. Bima and Hakima in one corner versus the reduced government folks in the other corner. Okay.
Reduce but not eliminate, clear, right?
Yeah, correct. Reducing versus eliminating. Okay, and Pocket said more authoritarianism. So here's what we'll do. I will represent reducing government. Pockets will represent more authoritarianism, and Bima and Hakima can both talk about this. I want to give the eliminating government folks, give the position to you guys. Bima or Hakima, who wants to go first? You and Hakima are going to represent eliminating government, and Pockets, of all people, is going to represent more authoritarianism. So go ahead, Bima or Hakima, tell us, make your best case to the people listening down below why eliminating government is the best choice.
Because governments are nothing but corrupt. Every last one of them on the planet is corrupt. And they just funneling money up to the rich and robbing the middle class, creating the poor. And it's never going to change. They're going to dress it up in another package, no matter what, and they're going to steady fuck the people, control the people. So I'm for no government where we govern ourselves. I don't think it'll be some wild west scenario. I think people will govern themselves and protect their families and do what they got to do. I think the world will be much better without some fucking corrupt ass government.
Okay. Hey, that's one man's opinion. Bima, if you want to add anything to that before we go to Pockets to represent the authoritarian position, go ahead, Bima.
I love what Hakeem is saying. I think that we, as human beings, have an incredible ability to innovate, create, and work things out. And I think the idea that, government is the necessary evil, I think that's honestly been a scam that a lot of people bought into, right? It was, I think most of the time it's actually the government and violent backed force and coercion against our will that causes the biggest atrocities, the wars, this collectivist diseased mentality, and the idea that there are people that have a moral authority over you is insane. I don't think that anyone in this room actually believes that, and that's why I would appeal to your better judgment and your true sensibilities to say, if you believe that you are the arbiter, the writer, the author of your life, that you should be able to make the decisions for what you do, for what you could deem moral and immoral, and what you'd like to, where you'd like to put your productive ability. I'd like to invite you to understand that coercive government, which is a federal constitutional republic, although not the worst, it's still a coercive institution that enslaves, that robs this of you. And if we were to decentralize this authority and allow us to freely associate without violent-backed coercion, we would live a more peaceful, a more creative, and I just think an overall better life. Thank you.
Okay. We just heard from Bima about the virtues of eliminating government. Pockets, you chose to represent more authoritarianism. Can you please give us your take on
all that shit? I feel like we need to start respecting law and order, and law and order should be respecting us as well. I don't believe in getting rid of the police. I actually believe in supporting them. You know, when you're allowing the irrational to lead, and that's horrible. It's like a blind leading the blind. That's what it is.
Okay, all right, thank you. I'd like to speak to you about the fallacies of both of the arguments. I will start with Bima's submission. Bima had made the claim that she was against collectivism. The problem is the ideology she's representing is the most collectivist. In fact, left-leaning anarchy was born on the left, born out of the idea of collectivism. In fact, anarchists believe, and if you look globally, there are different versions of anarchists. There's the anarcho-capitalist, which is a very small number of people globally, although it's more popular here in the U.S. But from a global perspective, the majority of anarchists are left-leaning collectivists. They're actually communists. They're anarcho-communists. This is the majority of the school of thought. It's where it was born, is out of communism. So this idea that she rejects collectivism but wants to give you a system in which there's no checks on the power that her collective would have over you. I would submit to you that the best system of government is one where we limit power, where we have a standard, and that standard is individual rights. I would like to talk to you about John Stuart Mill, who wrote in On Liberty, the harm principle. You should be free to do what you want to do, provided that you don't harm anyone else. In order to do this, you have to allow for a lot of freedom. That being said, you need to curtail it when it comes to doing harm. And in order to curtail it, you have to have an authority that can make decisions. You have a legislative branch that can make laws. You have a police force that can apprehend criminals. And you have a judicious system with judges that can decide if somebody is innocent or guilty and be able to sentence them to a punishment. These are the things that we need to keep in mind when we start thinking about these amateurish ideas of collectivist thought, which is what anarchy is, that wants to eliminate government so they can live in a society where they can do whatever they please and they can infringe on anybody's rights. One of the most popular anarchists out there, and you guys can look this up, Proudhon famously wrote a book titled Property is Theft. So for anyone that believes in the law principles, and I would submit to you that the best way to be able to ensure that people have individual freedom is to have a limited individual freedom. And I think you guys already know from my previous statements how I feel about that. I'll go ahead and lay my mic down. Thank you. And then we'll go to the poll and see who won.
Hey, Roger, that whole individual rights and the police force and the judges that don't protect it, they haven't been doing it. It sounds good in theory, but they don't do it. The only thing they do is protect themselves. So you just like you said, Bima want a world where people control themselves or whatever. Like that's what we need. I mean, the government is taking from us. They are selling us some bullshit dream that's never gonna fucking happen. And just to control us. Like, no, the real freedom is no government. That's the only way we're going to have to get real freedom.
Okay. And I guess my question to you is, when you look across the Americas and you see groups that maximize freedom, we could look to some of those groups. Is there a particular reason why you haven't decided to become Amish?
Yeah, that's a few reasons I can think of.
What would those be? I mean, they've found a way to get out of paying taxes. Many of the taxes that you and I pay, the Amish don't have to because they claim a religious exemption. So they have thrown the yoke of government off of them. They have figured out how to live in a society that has a government and to live with the government having minimal intrusion in their life. So my question is, if you guys are so committed to being anarchists, why don't you move to Amish country?
I'm working on my own country, Roger. Don't worry about it. I have my own. I'm not going to become Amish.
Where are you going, Liberia?
No, right here where my ancestors come from, right here. I'm not leaving.
Okay. Pockets, did you want to weigh in on this?
No, I'm good.
All right. Well, I guess the last thing that I would say is that we have to look at the threats realistically. There's countries that are adversarial to us, countries that have armies, countries that can organize. And in order to be able to defend against foreign foes, we need to have a military. We need to have a well-armed military. We need to have an organized, coordinated effort to be able to bring together the Army, the Navy, Air Force, and Marines. I don't believe that in an anarchist society, these small little militias led by Hakima and Bima would be any match for a sophisticated army that decides that they want to battle us. I actually think that their ideas on this disregard the very freedoms that we're granted because of our military protecting us. Yes, we have these oceans that is a huge advantage, but we also have brave fighting men and women that will protect our freedom from tyranny. And the political ideology that they're giving you is only going to work until somebody with enough guns comes over and takes all of your freedom. And so for that reason, I remain firmly in the camp of reducing government, improving government, not eliminating government. This is not just take your
the sewer rat. But then I was like, no, I don't really want to be friends with this scumbag anymore. Actually, I blocked him when I stopped being his campaign manager.
Campaign manager?
For 2032.
Oh, yeah, I haven't. I think maybe he stopped following me because I don't.
No, I blocked him.
No, me, I'm saying, I don't think he's. I haven't seen him in the hallway. You know, you see people's names in the hallway.
You're not missing out much, are you?
No, it is funny though. If it's an African American room and he's in there, I'll go in.
Thing. And when Brad does it, it's not a fucking problem.
I never can. But the idea,
I don't doubt that.
Thank you, Roger. But the idea is that it would look very similar. The only difference isn't coercion, right? There isn't a force that's going to make the decision to say we're going to do this or that because a particular percentage of the society decides to make these choices. It will be, listen, everybody is going to have to either pay into it and you're going to support it, or if you don't like it, you remove your predictive ability and you put it either in a competing institution, in something that's better, you fire, the changes come much more, they come quicker and they come faster. So the oversight, the accountability, the curtailing, all that's going to be there. It's just going to be extremely more effective, much more time efficient. There's going to be immediate decisions, right? It doesn't have to be caught up in all the legislative red tape, right? And also the left-leaning,
and there's more.
Of course, right? So the societies, I had mentioned that Kropotkin had talked about a bunch of societies in his one of his essays, and he mentions, there's multiple, and there was indigenous societies, there was Christian communities, right? The medieval guilds, the Icelandic Commonwealth in 1930, right? And there were multiple Christian communities. So even if you're a Christian, right? Those I don't know why that wouldn't be appealing to you. So the Apostolic Church, the Pauline communities, I don't know.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, anything for you.
So I've heard you make the comment a few times while you were explaining this that, immediate decisions to be made, immediate response. Who's making those decisions though if there's no government?
So it's not that Okay, so we use the term, I'm sorry, Serenity, the word government, we say it's not government. There's still going to be a governing structure. The only difference is it's not coercive. So there's going to be a government, there's going to be a governing structure in an organization. It's just that when that organizing structure is there, it's because everybody that's there absolutely has given explicit consent. Because if they didn't want to continue to participate and support it, they immediately can withdraw their consent at any time, right? So that's the only difference. So there's going to be government, and there is going to be structure. There's going to be, just like as a business would run, same thing. I mean,
may I ask a question? So the anarchist position is typically that you need to end the monopoly of force, that these anarchists that believe that they would be safer if they had their own little community of defense folks, and they decided, well, in order to best defend ourselves, we need a nuclear weapon. Do you think in your society that you and your family and maybe your neighborhood, maybe you've got like a little neighborhood watch, a little cul-de-sac somewhere like in Alabama or something like that. I don't know where you live, but let's just picture that it's in Alabama. It helps for people with a visual. And you're in a cul-de-sac and you and your neighbors are anarchists. If you decide that you want a nuclear weapon, what's the authority that would tell you that, no, Bima, you can't have a nuclear weapon?
I mean, so my best answer to this would be for the same reason that we as a society don't believe that there should be nuclear weapons around the world. I think the world is pretty concrete on that. The thing is something like a nuclear weapon is the complete antithesis of freedom, right? Because it's an indiscriminate weapon. It's an indiscriminate tool. It's going to, it creates a harm, not by self-defense, but by massive force, violent force specifically. And that's what we're trying to do by decentralizing the monopoly on force. So the large majority of people are going to reject that, and they're just not going to allow that to happen.
But my question is, who has the authority to tell you in an anarchist society that you can't have a nuclear weapon?
So the thing is like I said, because it's an indiscriminate weapon, society is going to operate off of, listen, you're a peaceful person, don't...
Hey, hold on, I'm going to pause this. Hey, Anonymous, can you stream Amir's room into here right now?
Yeah, I can't, well, yeah.
I hear it's going crazy. Can you please stream it? Sorry, Bima, this takes precedent.
Actually, I cannot, because this is my anonymous account.
You're fired. All right, Bima, back to anarchy.
What's going on in Amir's room?
You know, if there's any real in the muff patriots and you have a burner account right now, now is your time to go into Amir's room and give Mojo that extra dopamine bump he's looking for.
Mojo's experiencing FOMO for Amir's room.
Bima, did you say what's wrong with Amir's room?
No, I said what's going on in it.
Well, you know, it's typical hate mongers.
Do they need backup?
Why, you want to go join their hate circle?
Amir is not a hateful person.
Okay. Anybody want to contradict that statement?
I don't think he's a mean person either.
Back to the debate. Jesus Christ.
Not a mean person. He's a terrorist promoter, a potential terrorist. He platforms hate speech and creating terrorism. It doesn't matter. He'll listen to it. He loves it. The worse, the better it is for him.
Cool story, bro. So, Bima,
I want to go on record right now, and Ann, I would really caution you to back yourself away from this, because this guy's literally going to go to jail someday for this shit that he does. And I don't think this is the friend circle that you need.
I'm just saying that, well, okay, I trust your judgment. How about that?
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to pipe it in here because this is the only account I can listen to it on because he's blocked me from all my other accounts.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that I'm not surprised that Bima would support the terrorist Amir, but that's pretty shocking.
I didn't say that I supported him. I said that he wasn't a mean person. Well, he wasn't.
He's an incredibly hateful person. He literally calls for the genocide of Jews, Anne.
Can I get a clip on that? I have not saying that you haven't heard him say that. I haven't heard him say that. But I do.
I've never heard him say that. I've been in his room a lot.
He's an IRG operative, for Christ's sake.
What does that mean? I don't know what that means.
You don't know what the IRGC is? It's the fucking it's tyrannical government in Iran that allows men to marry 8-year-old girls and supports terror cells around the fucking globe to kill Jews. That's who they are. He gets his room titles every day.
I didn't know what it stood for.
You guys fucking, oh my god, this is crazy.
I wish Norm was in here because
I wish Norm was in here too because Norm was the one that texted me and said the terrorist Amir is talking all kinds of crazy shit.
Norm would be able to tell you that what I've done in that room.
What could anybody do in that room other than turn those people in to the fucking authorities? I mean, like, honestly, like, this is fucking crazy. You terror sympathizers are fucking something else.
Well, hold on a second, Mojo. Let's do a quick diagnostic here. And I'm going to give you a very simple diagnostic question to see if you're tracking. What is 100 times 1,000?
Gotta get some new lines. You can't use the same one twice.
No, I mean that's a very simple question. I didn't even ask what is 678 times 1,000.
It's boring, because you've already asked. We've already heard it.
I just, see, Mojo.
I'm not happy with my level of free stuff.
Bima, what I'm trying to demonstrate. See, you don't understand. I'm reverse engineering a problem. I'm reverse engineering a future problem here that people get angry over what people say here. But then when you ask a simple diagnostic, like what is 100 times 1,000, and they can't answer that, you have to question yourself, why am I getting ticked off about this person?
That math problem was too complicated for Bima because there was too many numbers. Bima, we could try a different one. How about the square root of 25?
5!
Well, she got that one. We're going to have to work up to 100 times 1,000.
So, Roger, I think maybe you have a big mic because there's like an ear popping thing that goes on, and my ear just pop when you go over in a mountain. You know what I mean? Oof.
Does it turn you on?
No, not ear popping. I mean, a little the lip being slapped. I like that, but no.
Shocker that you think that Amir, the terrorist simp, is a good guy. Shocker.
Do you know he's never given me a reason to believe otherwise. I also really appreciate his dedication to providing source material. He doesn't just.
How about just the titles of his room? That alone.
Just for future reference, 100 times 1,000 had the zeros in one at the end. 100,000.
Thank you. I know I did that last time, and then I just messed up because I don't know. I think what did I say? 500,000 or something stupid. I was add the zeros, but then I said 5 zeros was 100 times 1,003. That's 5 zeros, and I said but I messed up. But yeah. Boo.
That's just math in my head either, but that one was pretty easy, I have to say.
Yeah,
you got played on that one. You're very intelligent. I won't take that away from you.
Oh, sure. Thank you. It might just be my voice, maybe not the intelligence, but I appreciate it.
Could play a role,
Everybody should grab a worksheet.
Look, Marshall, listen, I am a simp. I don't know if I could say that. Is there a
female version for Marshall. This is the gentleman of the app, just consistent with an encyclopedia of information, doesn't ever get out of pocket with logical fallacies of insult and attack, always giving high quality commentaries. Marshall, I adore you. Thank you for being my hope. And
I really like you too, Bima.
You're amazing. See, listen to that voice. And it's angelic. See, sometimes when Roger talks, no, not Roger. My begonias actually surprisingly like Roger. When Brad talks, my begonias start to wilt. And I'm not even kidding.
Begonia?
Yes, all my begonias. I have many, many begonias. Many, many, many. You want to see my begonias?
I didn't know begonias were allowed in the month.
I have about 150, approximately, genuses of, or is it species? I think it's species. The genus is the begonia, the begoniaceae. Okay, you help me out. But anyway, I have a lot of begonias, and they're beautiful. But when Brad talks, his intonation, like the vibration, everything like just starts to turn away and wilt. Excited. They want more. They feel like that angelic, like, wow, give me more. Marshall, thank you.
Brad said something funny, and you know that Roger, you missed it. Now, I don't know if anyone remembers the exact words he said, but he said something about shoving cucumber sandwiches down someone's mouth. It was hilarious. I was laughing so hard. I was down below losing my shit. It's funny as hell. Brad is hilarious when he goes on. I don't know why it hurts your ears. He is funny as hell. He's a comedian. You should just go on stage and just talk shit to every single individual on the damn stage or on the floor. Listen to him. It's funny.
Joe, you took a pot shot at me in the chat, and I'm like you, and so you hurt my feelings. But could you do me a favor, Joe? When the next time I do it, because Joe said that I commit logical fallacies, and I'm not going to deny it. But Joe, would you be my hero? And the next time it happens, just like point it out and just say, "Hey, be my logical fallacy." There you go.
Hold on. You claim that you oppose the initiation of force upon peaceful people, and yet you do rooms talking nonstop shit about the IDF. When's the last time you did a room where you condemned Hamas for initiating force against Israel? I feel like you tend to leave that one out.
So I'm going to be honest, and I probably should.
But before you do, just understand that Bima and Ann here were saying that would a swell felon. But go ahead.
No, well, that's not true. So Bima said that she likes Amir, and all I said is that Amir, I agreed that Amir was not a mean person. But Norm has witnessed me taking the stage in Amir's room and actually back-channeled me and told me what a wonderful job that I did.
And she was very light touched, not the way a guy would do it. She just sort of lured them in, and then kaboom with their terrorism and their Jew hate.
But Bima and Ann were saying that these guys that Amir does not hate Jews. That was the claim.
I didn't say that either.
The most Jew-hating rooms I've.
Wait, hold on. Ann, are you now gonna walk back? We have this stuff streamed.
No, that's fine. The only thing that I said was that I didn't think she was a mean person, and that's.
So you don't think it's mean to want to kill Jews?
Well, and I also said that I never heard him say that. However, if you listen to what just Norm said when I'm in there, I say my opinion and I call out their. But I've been in there.
He doesn't believe you should exist, and how is that not mean?
I don't want our channel in the top of the room.
We're about to stream it into
process that you can
So
people, because for example,
I'm just gonna
if they bring someone listening, it's mainly for a few years. Think 24 hours, 48 hours, and then for terrorism can be slightly longer once they go to special courts. 4 years is a long time to do something with someone with no charge.
Generally, a charge sheet should be brought.
Just for 1 second, I just want to say what's going on.
Within 16 days.
That was
was the Professor Nathan who was in this room before.
I just want to, I have to get this off my chest. They were literally sex trafficking in this room. You heard me correct. I heard it with my own ears. They were literally doing prostitution. They had somebody come up, and the guy said he goes to Dubai and Switzerland.
Norm, pause right there. Pause right there.
Yeah.
Strong accusations, Norm.
Hold on. Pause right there.
I wouldn't. I heard it.
Norm, pause right there. These are friends. Amir, Bima says that Amir is a good person, and says that he's not a hateful person. So go ahead, Norm.
The IDF and United States rescued a Yazidi woman last year who had been sex trafficked to Gaza and for 10 years. This is 10 years of sex trafficking. They rescued IDF and USA rescued last year. I sent you the link to the BBC and Al Jazeera articles back channel. Well, now I heard it with my own ears. And I'll swear on a stack of Torahs, these guys were literally discussing their sex trafficking. And then the fellow said, and then when I wanted to get rid of her, I told her that I was Jewish so that she would spit on me. This is what they, and then, again, I'm sorry to have to report this, that Edward said, well, you should have paid her at least. This is what, I mean, it's...
Did you report this to Clubhouse?
Yeah, I did. I don't even know what to say.
Why doesn't everybody just report that room right now? Everybody in this room report that room.
Well, I think what we're going to do is more importantly, it's we're going to have the recording, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to send it not only to Clubhouse, but we'll send it to the FBI, and we might even send a note that says that they're friends with certain people.
Yeah, let's fucking go. It's about time. Let's fucking go.
Literally promoting the mass extermination of Jewish people in that room for weeks, and I've been in there again. I've heard it with my own ears. We're going to fry you like Hitler did. You're going to go in the ovens, on and on like this. But this is the first night tonight that I heard them actually sex trafficking. And honestly, I've never heard sex trafficking before in my life. I'm speechless. I am absolutely speechless.
There were other people that were there that heard that could confirm this.
It was full. I didn't even take a picture of the room.